Meet Noelle, a girl who feels like an outsider in her new high school. As a black student in a predominantly white school, she faces stares, whispers, and subtle prejudice that make her feel invisible. But Noelle has something that no one can take from her, a voice. In a world that tries to silence her, Noelle finds strength in her words and her art. Alongside others who have been overlooked, she builds something powerful, a collective that will finally be heard. This is a story of finding your light even when the world tells you to dim it. The smell of rain lingered in the air, mixing with the sharp scent of fresh paint and cut grass. A slow drizzle tapped against the windows of a quiet house in a quiet suburb of Eugene, Oregon. Inside, a girl named Noelle sat cross-legged on the hardwood floor of her new bedroom, cardboard boxes surrounding her like walls. She held a photograph of her and her grandmother, both laughing, the sun casting halos around their faces. Her grandmother used to say, "You carry the sun, child. Don't let anyone convince you it's a burden." But Noelle didn't feel like the sun. Not here. Not now. Chapter 1: Shadows and Smiles. The first day at Ridgeview High was a blur. The halls were buzzing with students who had known each other since kindergarten. Their laughter like an inside joke she wasn't invited to. Her skin, deep and warm, drew stares that lingered just a second too long. Whispers followed her like perfume she hadn't chosen to wear. She tried to smile at the girl at the next locker. Nothing. She tried to join a conversation in biology. Silence. In English class, the teacher asked about the Harlem Renaissance. Noelle raised her hand, speaking confidently about Zora Neale Hurston. A boy in the back muttered, "Of course she knows that." A few chuckled. The teacher didn't address it. Noelle's stomach sank. That night, she stared at her reflection. She had braided her hair the night before, but now she wondered if she should have straightened it. Should she have worn the hoodie with the logo instead of the Ankara print jacket? Should she have tried harder to disappear? Chapter 2: The Color of Walls. Her art teacher, Mr. Lennox, handed out sketch pads and told them to draw belonging. Noelle froze. She sketched a row of houses, identical, painted gray, and one house in the middle, painted in vibrant color. Purple walls, golden windows, a red roof that burned like flame. When she handed it in, Mr. Lennox studied it. "This is powerful," he said. "Tell me what the house means." She hesitated. "It means standing out isn't always a choice." He nodded slowly. "But it can be a voice." That stuck with her. Chapter 3: Invisible Ink. Weeks passed. Noelle started a journal. She wrote poems she never showed anyone. Poems about silence, about code switching, about cafeteria tables that felt like continents apart. She joined the library club, the only place where people didn't stare. She started noticing the other quiet kids. Jean, whose parents ran the corner store. Maria, who doodled flowers in every margin. Malik, the only other black kid in her grade, who barely spoke in class but always held the door open. They didn't talk much, but they nodded when they passed, like a silent pact. In the corner of the library one day, Noelle found a book of Maya Angelou's poetry. She read until the bell rang, and even after it, for a moment, she didn't move. Her chest was filled with something warm and aching, maybe hope. Chapter 4: The Rain Collective. One day, Noelle wrote a poem and left it in a library book. "They tell me to shine softer, to bend my light in corners. But the sun never asks for permission." She didn't sign it, just left it and walked away. A week later, she found another poem, scribbled in the same book. Different handwriting, same feeling. "We are the rain, they are the roofs. Let them hear the thunder." She left a reply. Soon, a dozen poems began to appear in different books. Margins scribbled with truths. Anonymous notes tucked between chapters. They called themselves the Rain Collective. It was no longer about surviving the silence, it was about breaking it. Chapter 5: The Gathering. It started in whispers. A scribbled note passed in the hallway. A quick glance exchanged in homeroom. Then one day, a Friday, Noelle found a folded paper in her locker. "Room 113. After school. Come if you're ready." She hesitated, but her heart already knew. When she walked into room 113, 5 others were already there. Jean, Maria, Malik, and two others she didn't know. Layla, with soft eyes and a stack of books under her arm, and Theo, a theater kid with blue nail polish and a sly grin. Malik looked up. "You're here," he said simply. Noelle nodded. "So are you." Jean stepped forward. "We're the Rain Collective. It's not just poems anymore. We want to be seen, heard. We're planning something. An exhibit. A protest. Maybe both." Maria unfolded a poster sketch. "We're calling it Louder Than Silence." Noelle looked around the room and realized she wasn't alone. Over the next few weeks, they met every Friday. They brought snacks, art, music. They shared pieces of themselves in poems, in drawings, in the simple honesty of their stories. Each meeting felt like unlearning the isolation they'd each wrapped around themselves like armor. Chapter 6, Louder Than Silence. They worked in secret late afternoons and weekends. They painted, wrote, filmed, recorded. Malik created a spoken word piece that made everyone cry. Layla wrote an essay about being Palestinian American and the weight of translation. Jean turned his family's corner store into a photo project. Theo designed the lighting and stage setup like a Broadway show. Maria created shadow boxes with layered art representing the complexities of being a Latina in a school where Spanish was only welcome in electives. Noelle wrote a piece she titled The Weight of My Light. In it, she talked about how she used to want to shrink, to dim herself. She read it aloud at their final rehearsal. When she was done, the room was quiet. Then Malik said, "That's it. That's the heart." They got permission from Mr. Lennox and the library club to host the event in the school's art wing. Flyers went out. Buzz started to build. People whispered about it in hallways, unsure of what it was and even more unsure of why they felt drawn to it. Noelle's mom helped bake cookies. Layla's older brother helped set up the sound system. Malik's dad, a jazz musician, offered to play saxophone at the opening. It became a community effort. Chapter 7, The Night of the Storm. The night of the exhibit, the halls shimmered with light. Art covered every wall, raw, unfiltered. There were mirrors etched with confessions, headphones playing stories in different languages, poems taped like bandages across lockers. Noelle stood near the center, her piece framed in gold foil, soft light casting shadows across her face. Students, teachers, and even parents moved through the space slowly, reverently. When Malik stepped onto the small stage and performed, people clapped. When Noelle read, they stood. Theo ended the night with a performance about identity and masks, half of his face painted silver, the other left bare. Something shifted. Not everything, but something. A teacher approached afterward, eyes glistening. "I didn't know," she said. Noelle replied, "Now you do." Chapter 8, Ripples. The Monday after the show, something was different. Students stopped Noelle in the hallway to say thank you. A girl in sophomore year asked if she could join the Rain Collective. They held open meetings now, anyone could attend, share, listen. Not everyone understood. Some mocked them. But others felt seen for the first time. They helped a boy come out. They supported a girl whose hijab had been tugged by bullies. They gave voice to those who'd been told to quiet down for too long. Epilogue, Lightkeeper. Spring came. The rain still fell sometimes, but now Noelle didn't mind. She saw its purpose. She no longer ate lunch alone. The Rain Collective had grown, not just in number, but in strength. She passed by the art wing one day and saw a younger girl staring at a piece she'd made. The girl turned and smiled shyly. "You made this?" she asked. Noelle nodded. "It's beautiful. I want to do something like this someday." "You will," Noelle said. "Because the sun doesn't ask permission to rise." And neither would she.